right. Thank you. Gosh, it's getting late. 10 minutes before 11 o'clock. Emma Gray is on the phone. She's the executive women's editor at Huffington Post. She's the co-host of the Bachelor-themed podcast, Here to Make Friends. She's a contributor to The Today Show, Good Morning America, The Insider, Entertainment Tonight, and that's why it's such an honor to have her on our show. Her book is called A Girl's Guide to Joining the Resistance, a feminist handbook on fighting fighting for good. There's actually, if you look underneath the title, there's an old title. It says A Girl's Guide to Being a Lady. And I looked up some of the old rules from the 1950s. Robin, this was like when we were born in the 50s. Our dads were supposed to, and moms were supposed to obey these kind of rules. The only thing good about this old book was the artwork is outstanding.
Yeah, it is outstanding.
It's called Housewives 101. Oh my gosh. It tells you what to do to be the perfect woman. The only problem I would have with some of these rules, put on lipstick and smile. Prepare yourself. Take 15 minutes to rest so that you'll be refreshed when he gets home.
Yeah, you never looked bad when in the 50s. Most of them never.
But see, if you were her dad or mom, you would. I think I Love Lucy was the first time we had a show that showed a little bit of rebelliousness on the women's part. Right?
Yeah.
Emma, good morning. How are you?
I'm great. Thrilled to be here.
Where are you right now?
I'm in New York City, sitting with my coffee.
Well, good.
Nice.
Oh, that sounds nice, actually. How's the weather there today?
Beautiful, actually.
So I love what you're doing here. You are probably younger than us, I'm guessing. Did you have to go through a lot of this stuff? Like, Robin, did you go to home economics class?
Yes, we did.
And you were taught this kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
Emma, were you?
I kind of fall in that middle ground. I'm 30. I think I grew up in a moment where women were empowered to join the workforce, take ownership over our destiny, and yet I'm still kind of learning every day.
Is it fair to say, and I've often thought this, and I don't see them getting credit, I think the ladies who were the songwriters of the 60s really made a difference. People like Melanie Safka. I don't know if you know Melanie. I think she lives in Queens, doesn't she? But she would write songs that clearly were saying, "Hey, come on, I'm a human being. Don't treat me like vanilla ice cream or something." Whatever her line was. Do you think that? Do you think
pop culture is powerful?
Yeah, maybe that's what I should have said. So how did this come to your attention? Is there we still have a way to go, or are we getting close to equalizing the playing field between men and women?
I think we are living in a really hopeful moment because we are seeing women being so active in the political system. But of course, there's still a lot of work left to do. And the reason that I wrote this book is because I am a journalist. I cover the intersection of gender and politics. I covered the 2016 presidential election and also the women's marches. And I got to see firsthand what it looks like when a lot of anger and grief and fear is channeled into civic action and just how powerful that can be.
Explain that. What did you see and what was changed and how was it changed?
Well, on election night, obviously, a lot of people assumed that we were going to see our first woman president elected. And I think some of us thought it was almost a foregone conclusion. Like, we were ready. It was time. And yet, that's not what happened. And instead, I spent that night standing on the street until about 1:30 in the morning, interviewing a lot of really heartbroken, devastated, and scared people, many of them young women. And then in the intervening months between that and the Women's March, we saw record numbers of women step up and say, I want to run for office. Right. We saw a march planned in a matter of months that was the largest single-day protest in U.S. history. And we've seen that energy continue.
It'll be a good day when that happens. What do you think will be different if Hillary had been elected? As far as women are concerned, what would have been the difference?
I don't know exactly what her, presidency would have done. She would have been contending with Congress. But at the very least, we would have had a president who was supportive of women's access to health care, very supportive of legislation that could help the wage gap instead of rolling back measures that protected women workers.
Right.
And also, we have a president right now who's been accused of sexually assaulting or harassing more than a dozen women.
Since you have interviewed some high caliber women like Senator Elizabeth Warren, Ashley Judd, Marlo Thomas, and you were involved in organizing the Watch Us Run conference, have you plus all the other women gotten together to try to pick a woman candidate for 2020, and are you grooming that person to run?
Well, I am simply an observer. I am a journalist, so I am waiting and watching and seeing who steps up to run for president in 2020. Of course, names like Kamala Harris and Kirsten Gillibrand, as well as people like Senator Chris Murphy, have been floated, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, because right now would be the time for those people to come forward and not wait till the last minute.
Yeah, and I think we will start to see people really step up and say, I have the intention to run. But what I'm really focusing on, rather than just who's going to be the next president or who's going to run against Trump, is how can everyday people get involved in their own communities? How can they, own their own stories and use them to create change and get involved on whatever issue they personally find to be most important?
Right. What issues do you think would be tackled, and on a local level, I suppose? What kind of things do you hear from your readers regarding changes that you would like to see?
Well, I think people have expressed a really big interest in common sense gun control. I think that's a big one. Also, things as local as, sexual education and what is covered in schools, what is taught about consent in the wake of the Me Too movement to young children. So I think this can be really, really broad reaching.
Yeah. That's a really good one. Okay. So it's not just about who the president is. I think I hear where you're going now with this. I'm absolutely, the thing about this is when it comes to being fair to women, I think men are on board. I don't see that men don't want fairness for women. The laws probably need to reflect that better. I don't know. You mentioned something about access to health care. Is there any area that women don't have access to the same health care that a man has?
Well, I think we do see the president making it pretty clear, and the vice president especially, that it's on his agenda to curtail access to abortion care, and that is something that is specific to women primarily. So I think that there are healthcare issues that women face.
Wouldn't Carly
and need specific access to.
Wouldn't Carly Fiorina have taken that same position if she had been elected?
Yes, I think she would have. And again, this isn't just about having a woman as president and that will solve things.
Okay.
My book is meant to encourage women to get more involved, and also men need to be a part of this conversation.
I think men are, especially dads of daughters. I think.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And you also are advising women to take care of themselves, to have that self-care attitude that before they can take care of others, they have to make sure that they're secure.
Yes, absolutely. I think we all need to give ourselves permission sometimes to step back, because it can be such an overwhelming moment. Just the news alone gives me a headache, and that's my job. And so I think we all need to give ourselves permission to step back, turn off our phones, log off Facebook, and do whatever it takes to recharge our own batteries, whether that is taking a really long bubble bath or spending a night in with our family.
Excellent book.
I think the idea that there's one day going to be a Prince Charming is problematic also. And to tell you the truth, if we can somehow do away with those kinds of stories that kind of cloud a little girl's mind into thinking this is what I should be when I grow up, I think that takes the pressure off of men too. I don't have to be Prince Charming.
Exactly.
I'm going to be a partner with you, and
Absolutely.
and together we're gonna solve all our problems.
Yeah, it's on each of us. And I think when we expand our ideas of what it means to be a woman, we also expand our ideas of what it means to be a man. And that's better for all of us.
Well, you have done a really good job expressing to us what the book is about. The book is called A Girl's Guide to Joining the Resistance. Emma Gray is the author. I have a copy of the book, by the way, if you'd like it. Emma, give us a website so we can get the book.
So you can find it on Amazon.com or at Barnes & Noble or your local bookstore.
Thank you, Emma.
Nice.
Thank you. All right, we'll be right back.
Ocala Aviation now has opportunities for flight instructors.
Wait, hold on. Brad, is this correct? You're looking for instructors, not students?
Actually, we're looking for both.
Well, that's descriptive.
Well, I need flight instructors because we're now affiliated with a major university and can offer 4-year degrees. Plus, we're also approved to work directly with VA students.
Okay, so a degree in what, and what's a VA student?
Well, it's a bachelor's degree in aeronautics, which includes a commercial pilot's license, and there's financial aid available. By VA students, I mean veterans. They now have access to new benefits to pay for flight training.
Okay, so you have new opportunities for new students. What about the instructor side of it?
Well, with new students, we need more instructors.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
So, if anyone out there is a flight instructor, I want to encourage them to come see me. And if they're not an instructor but have their commercial license, we can help them become an instructor.
So they get their instructor license.